Lewis Hart for the Ring magazine. Delighted to be joined with trainer Shane McGuigan here at the weigh-in for Natasha Jonas against Lauren Price. Obviously Caroline Dubois on the undercard. Shane, good to see you. How's things?
Yeah, good, thanks, mate. Yeah, it's nice to have a Friday fight night for once as well, and London-based. So just feels like another week of training. Caroline does the weight really easy, so there's been no stress really. Just looking forward to tomorrow night.
When was the last Friday? When was the last Friday fight night? When was the last time you had a weekend off?
I can't actually remember. But yeah, no, it is nice. It's nice. I like fights in London as well. I mean, obviously, it's not far for me to travel.
Yeah, absolutely. As you say, Caroline Dubois back out. You know, a lot of the talk yesterday, Joe Gallagher was very praised of Caroline, of the way she can talk, and especially now, do you feel like when it comes to Caroline, fight by fight, she's really almost tapping into that star potential that she has?
Yeah, listen, she has that in abundance. She's always been a confident girl, but you know, she's getting that confidence within herself to be able to, you know, set her goals out publicly and also talk about other fighters and sort of show everybody what she's about, really, because she wants to be not just the world champion, she wants to be the best female fighter on the planet, and she wants to be the star of the boxing, and also selling out arenas and stuff. I think, you know, she's always trying to go out there, put on exciting fights. She always goes and takes to her opponents as a fighter. You know, in the amateur she was very much a counter-puncher boxer. Now she's really trying to press it. She's after blood, she's after excitement, knockouts, and you don't really see that very often in female fights. And I think she's got that power, that style. She can now mix it on the inside. We've been working together a long time now, and she's really taken to it. And I'm excited for. Listen, this is going to be the hardest fight of her career for sure. I think it's going to be awkward because her opponent's she's so aggressive, and she'll probably smother. They'll both smother a lot of each other's good work. So it's up to Caroline to be able to create those little openings on the inside, not run around, but just create the openings on the inside and get those meaningful shots off.
Yeah. As I say, like, as the levels are stepping up for Caroline, as you say, you know, she wants the big fight. She wants to push. You know, she's called out names like Terry Harper, and every fight is, you know, is getting more and more difficult. She the hardest one of her career so far. Do you feel like when we do that, and when you do get aggressive opponents, that's when we do see the best of Caroline?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think, you know, sometimes it can get a bit messy in there. You know, it's 2-minute rounds. They're trying to set a high pace where, you know, they're looking to work for the whole 2 minutes. And, you know, in the men's boxing, you know, normally there's a bit more power. The pace gets a little bit slower. You can't make as many mistakes, but you can afford to be complacent sometimes in female boxing because they throw so many punches and it's more of a sprint. But that's why Caroline flips the script. You know, she's very calculated. She can take you out with either hand as well. So, yeah, this opponent's tough and, you know, aggressive and fights at a high tempo. So it's up to Caroline to slow her down, work the body, mix it in short as well as boxing her at range, and sort of dissect her round by round, and that's what she's planning to do.
She spoke at the press conference yesterday, talked about undisputed being the aim. Do you feel like realistically that is the aim for this year and 26 as well?
I don't see why not. I mean, Katie Taylor doesn't have many ambitions of coming back down to 135. I think you've got Beatrice who's there, Ferreira, she's going to be probably a biggest challenge. You've got Terry Harper, who's a world champion, you know, and the WBA is going to be contested for shortly. So it's not as simple as that. A lot of the time there's promoters and managers and different networks and things like that, but that is 100% our goal, to be undisputed 135. You know, that's where Katie Taylor built her name at 135. I think it's the weight division that most of the females with you know, it's like the welterweight of the men's. Most of the females sort of congregate down at 135, and I think that's a weight that she can really establish her name and build her brand.
Yeah. Moving on from other guys in the stable that have fight dates, Chris Billam Smith taking on Brandon Glanton. Guess what about sort of 6 weeks out now from the fight?
7 weeks on Saturday, yeah.
Yeah, 7 weeks. So I guess how's things looking ahead of, you know, Chris Billam Smith's return?
Yeah, looking really good. You know, he's been in the gym this morning. He started sparring this week. So he's in a good place. You know, he's hungry. That's the most important thing for him. He's hungry. He wants to get better. I think it could have gone either way for Chris. He could have come back in with a mentality of well, I've been British, Commonwealth, European, world champion. I fought for a unified world title. I boxed on the biggest stage. He's made good money. Could have easily been then to say, let's just have 1 or 2 more checkouts. But this is a hard fight. This is a fight that he has to get up for. Glanton's obviously got a loss, 2 losses on his record, but he's also coming off great form in Egorov, and he's aggressive. He's a decent puncher, and he forces the action. So Chris has to be switched on and out for it. I think he will be, because this training camp, he's always had a great mentality.
Yeah.
But I think there's something different for him. You know what I mean? I think in this one, I think he really wants to, he's got that bit between the teeth, and he wants to get back in there and prove the doubters wrong.
Yeah. I was going to ask you that on his mentality, like the reaction to the Zudo loss, as you say, which you could have looked back and he could have looked back at achievements and feeling sorry for himself, but it shows the class and mentality that he still wants to push, and he's been very open about wanting to be a world champion again. And as you say, when you realise his mentality, that's something he really means.
Yeah, definitely. I think with Chris's mindset when he turned pro, it was always just like, let's just tick that box off, and then when he lost to Reakpo, he was like, I need to get that back. Yeah. I need to get past that level. And he's always just striving for extra percentages, and I think that's what I want to see from him. I want to see that hunger, because there's no point boxing if you don't have that hunger, if you don't have that belief to win world titles again. It's too hard of a sport to be mixing about in, especially up there when they're rehydrated up to about 15 and a half stone. Yeah. They're hitting you far too hard. So, life's short, but if you're going to do it, you've got to do it properly, and you've got to give it your all. And I think one thing's for sure, when Chris Billam Smith packs it in a couple of years' time, he's going to look back in his career and say, I couldn't have done any more, and that's all I can ask for as a coach. Yeah,
absolutely. Adam Azim, obviously coming off the win against Sergey Lipinets. Yeah. What's the latest for Adam and the future of it?
He's started Ramadan. He's not in the gym at the moment. He will be coming into the gym next week, just ticking over, because Ramadan's in March this year, so it gets dark quite early, so it's like we can actually stage our training around in the late afternoons, and then he can break his fast after that. But you're not going to be training optimally when you're in Ramadan. Adam's very religious, and he makes sure he does it completely to a T, meticulously. And I think for me, it's just getting back in, getting moving, and then we'll see. Really, I think May is a good sort of date for him. May, early June, something like that. That'll be what sort of dates we'll be looking at. But then obviously it then goes on to opponents, and we've got a couple of people in mind, and hopefully we'll start approaching them and get some news soon.
Would one of them be Harlem Eubank, do you think, who fights tomorrow?
Well, I think Harlem wants to go to 147. I think, and at the end of the day, Adam's 22 years of age. We don't want to be doing catch weights and stuff like that. If he wants to fight, come back down to 140, and obviously we'll entertain it. But I think he's got his sights set at being at 147.
Because there was a lot of talk, especially from Hearn and Matchroom, about the idea of Adam fighting with like Sean McComb and Pierce O'Leary on the April 26th card. Obviously that didn't materialise, but would that still be something that you'd aim for down the line? With O'Leary and McComb, yeah.
But why?
What, are you asking me why?
Yeah, why?
So them two fights, I'd say, look, for me...
What's McComb got?
McComb putting good... I think McComb...
He's not getting past the level he's at right now.
But for me...
He's not going to be a world champion.
I think McComb would show something different that Adam's faced before. A very sound fighter on the back foot, putting good performances against Arnold Barboza Jr.
McComb is not... He will not put up a good performance against Adam Azim, because what McComb is he's a good counter puncher, he's a good skillful guy with fast feet, and he's got relatively quick hands. Adam's faster than him, throws more combination. That's a wrong fight for him, for Sean McComb. And Pierce O'Leary, he's fighting John Fernandez for the vacant EBU title, so whether they wanted to just chuck him in to get him a payday, I'm not sure. I think at the end of the day, if he keeps coming through those levels, I like Pierce, I think he's a good fighter. If he keeps coming through the levels, then definitely it'll be a fight that Adam will entertain in the next few months, in the next year or 18 months or whatever. But he's a level below Adam. He's not won a European title yet, so we're not going to go back. We're going to go forward. Yeah.
Before I do let you go, Shane, do have to ask you about all the antics of last week. Chris Eubanks, Urin and Conor Benn. What do you make of all of last week, and with the eggs, the back and forth? Like, what was your sort of takeaway from how the fight was sold there?
was very WWE. I think it was very well planned out for whoever's controlling things behind the scenes. And don't get yourself wrong, boxing's controlled behind the scenes.
Okay.
All of this shit's but controlled behind the scenes, and it's just there to create clicks and attention, and that's what it's about. And I think they've done a good job because everyone's talking about it.
So would you say a lot of that stuff was all
Premeditated?
Premeditated, maybe from both sides.
I would imagine it is.
Yeah. Okay. And as I say, before I do let you go, one thing I did want to ask you about. Oleksandr Usyk has likened the idea of potentially fighting Daniel Dubois next. Obviously, Dubois spent a lot of time in your gym. What do you make of that fight and the rematch, I guess, from the form that Dubois is on now?
Well, Usyk's a year older and Daniel's on better form. But I think it was take the body shot away. Yeah. That was low blow, but it could have been called a body shot. Yeah, it was right on the belt. 50% of people thought it was low, 50% of people thought it was, a clean shot. It was a fantastic shot, but that's the one shot he caught him with.
Yeah, of course.
How many other shots did he catch him with? Yeah, and he had 10 rounds there, didn't he? He didn't get to the 12. So he had 10 rounds to be able to land lots of shots, and he caught him with one. Usyk hit him with a number of shots throughout the fight. Didn't necessarily buzz him with one specific shot, but hit him, and the accumulation of punches got to him. So just being I know Daniel, and I know what he's good at, and I think he's a fantastic fighter, and I think he's got the capability of being any heavyweight on the planet. I've always said it.
Yeah.
But he's a mastermind. But he's a year older, so you've got to fight at a higher intensity. You've got to be a bit more reckless to get your shots off, and have that mentality like, well, if I'm going to get beat, I'm going out on my shield. I'm not going to sit back. He sat back that whole fight. Sat back, and got pushed back, with side-to-side movement and straight shots. And he was giving away far too many rounds, giving away far too much space. He wasn't sitting down in his shots and carrying and meeting them on the way in. If he can get that right, he's got the potential. But when's Usyk really been hurt? Yeah. When we've seen his legs go? We've seen him out with a body shot, but when have we seen his legs go? We're banking on a guy that's a massive puncher, a world-class puncher. Let's flip the script to say, like, Usyk hasn't showed any of those vulnerabilities. Yes, his vision's phenomenal, and any man can get knocked out when Daniel hits him. But you've got to find it. And I think, he found one shot and that was to the body in the first fight. If he lands something hard to the head, maybe, but I can only see it going one way towards Usyk.
Yeah. Shane, I'll let you get Caroline weighed in, but appreciate you taking time to speak to me. I know, always good to catch up and get your insight. All the best for tomorrow, mate.
No
Top
worries.
man.
Cheers, mate.
Thank you.